About a year ago, I felt like working in clay. I hadn't done a clay bust since a high school art class and thought it might be fun. I didn't go into the project with any ideas or sketches or anything. I just started working intuitively, and this is what came out. As the piece progressed, it took on this primitive American Indian quality, and I affectionately started referring to it as Tecumseh. When I felt like doing another clay sculpture, I thought it might be nice to research the real Tecumseh and do the actual and do his bust. So when I go into a project like this, I try to do as much research as I can, and I learned all about his life and searched for imagery of him, and found that Tecumseh had never posed for a portrait like his brother Tenskwatawa and several other Shawnee chiefs had. So I was able to find their pictures, but I couldn't find anything on Tecumseh. There were some sketches and illustrations and paintings that had been done of him after his death, and by artists who had never seen him. And these depictions looked too European to me. And they would show him in a British officer's uniform, military uniform, and that was just such a small part of his story, that didn't seem like good reference for me. So I became a little more of a detective, and I tried to piece together what he could have looked like. I wanted my rendition of Tecumseh to be both artistic and as accurate as I could be without having any actual reference of the man. I learned that violence was very much a part of Tecumseh's world growing up. His father was killed by white settlers. He became a warrior at a very young age and was a scout during various campaigns, which would be the equivalent to being a Navy SEAL or Delta Force today. There was one instance in which there was a raiding party he was with, and the rest of the warriors were retreating, and Tecumseh continued on his own, harassing and stealing the enemy's horses. And acts like this gained respect and grew his reputation, setting him apart as a leader. So as the advancement of white settlers onto traditional Indian lands continued, Tecumseh tried to form and strengthen a coalition of Native American nations. He traveled extensively and became known as a great orator, gathering a lot of support for his cause. He sided with the British during the War of 1812 for a short time, seeing them as the lesser of the two evils, being the Americans or the British. The British did have a much better track record regarding honoring treaties made with lands they had colonized. Ultimately, Tecumseh's efforts failed, as the various tribes were bought off one by one by the American settlers as they migrated westward. He left an incredible legacy behind. His dream of uniting all of the Native American nations was a beautiful one, and although his efforts were not successful, they have not been forgotten. As a piece for me, this one took on a special meaning. I really tried to connect with the subject and tried to identify with him. For an individual to have such a positive vision and dream while his environment was just so brutal. Um, that really speaks volumes right there.
I am Tecumseh. My people are Shawnee. We are from the Ohio. My father, Bootskinwa, was a great chief. He was killed when I was young by the Yankee people. They have taken away the land which was made for our people in the beginning of time. My brother, Tensquatwa, is a prophet. He says the Great Spirit will deliver us. I do not trust the Yankee people. They have grown from the scum of the great water when it was troubled by the evil spirit. Let us form one heart to defend the lands of the graves of our fathers. A single twig breaks, but the bundle of twigs is strong. Live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide.